I miss you, Steph. It's Barran Dodger. I'm just going to put the phone down because I'm driving, but I'll keep talking, okay? I just wanted to say I miss you, and I miss all my friends. And I'll just put the phone down here. It was my birthday recently, and I would have loved to have got really fucking baked with you. That would have been really fun. But unfortunately for me, I spent alone as a scapegoat and as infamous whistleblower and as a politically displaced refugee seeking asylum within the democracy of my citizenship. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, I'm on the road, and I'd love to come and visit you. Now, it's come to my attention a few reasons why you rejected me, you know, and I'd like you to reconsider that, framed by this. Now, I know you're very passionate about the earth and nature and coal and all that kind of stuff, and rightly so. And you'll be aware that the powerful, rich elite are the ones that are doing the damage because they're profiteering off the lies, and you'll understand exactly what I mean by that in terms of coal and the corruption with greenhouse emissions and your important role in advocating as an earthling who cares for the earth. And I just wanted to say, I know the reason that you've rejected me, and that is because of a couple of things. First of all, the authorities have framed me as a pedophile, which is kind of a bit absurd, really. I mean, I enjoy the company of younger men, as we know, but the absurd thing is there are no victims, and that's a weird thing. Surely if they were going to accuse me of something, there'd be victims, but there are none. And the other reason is because they've framed me as a rapist. Now, this is also troublesome because there are no rape victims. Now, there was a girl I lost my virginity to when I was very young, and that happened at the local police breakup. And it's been, 30 years since that, and I was paranoid that I did something wrong for the consensual sex that I had because I was in an unsure sexuality. But, consensual sex is just that, and it doesn't matter if I was green, gay, bi, tri, trans, whatever, because consensual sex is simply that. And it's been revealed to me later on in life, a couple of weeks ago, that the girl was paid to fabricate a report against me. And the police, the federal police, have admitted that it was a consensual but regrettable thing. So that rules out the possibility that that was anything less than what it was, which was a confused and vulnerable and experimentation with sexuality, and that is a fact. So, Steph, I know the reasons you've been told not to believe me and not to trust me and to actively participate in my further persecution. And I'm just drawing a link now to the people that you're protesting about, because the rich, powerful, corrupt elite are exactly that. They're corrupt, and they have a lot of money and they have a lot of power. Now, I'm going to tell you a few things since we saw each other last, which was quite a while ago now, and it's really important to understand. So this is a really, really important thing to get through your head. I'm a disabled person, yeah? Everyone would agree with that. I'm a bit mad, schizophrenia, whatever. Okay, now, it's within the Australian Constitution and ratified by the government in 2008 that a disabled person in this country should have access to a home and should have access to legal aid. Now, I know you're a very clever girl, and you can Google that as much as you want. Now, as it stands, I've been in a terrible, terrible situation, and it's linked to a few things. I'll just say it in a really blunt way. Bill Shorten, the NDIS minister, has orchestrated and ordered my assassination. Now that's a difficult thing for anyone to understand, because no one believes that Bill Shorten could assassinate me, but I have all of the evidence, and the evidence is compelling. Why would I make that up? There's no reason to. Now I can prove this because I've got the details of the NDIS providers who were masquerading as providers that were sent to erase me. That's one thing I can prove. And the other thing I can prove, which is really, really easy to prove because you don't need to look very hard, is that I'm homeless. And I'm here with my therapy dog, Crystal, as you know. Crystal's my beautiful muse and god, and she's with me now. And we've been forced to live in the car, going from town to town, and city to city, always on the run from these Lebanese criminal networks who were the active participants in the assassination. Now, I can confirm this because I had this NDIS provider, Ben, and as I escaped the assassination in Sadleir in New South Wales, I escaped and I went up to Port Macquarie. And while I was in Port Macquarie, Ben, the NDIS provider, confirmed with me a few things on text, and I've got all of that evidence. I'm happy to show you. He confirmed that the assassination attempt was real, and he confirmed because he was informed by the police. Notes from the federal police to Ben, to me, which are confirming that the assassination attempt was real, and I narrowly escaped being killed. And that's really a disgraceful thing for the Australian government to do, and it's an egregious human rights violation. Now, going back a step, pedophilia and rape, here we go. I've actually put a message out to the NDIS, to all politicians and all police, everyone involved. I want you to locate me, and I want you to arrest me. I'm going to help you with your investigations into pedophilia, into rape, into extortion, and into terrorism. And I just put that out, and I sent it out to every politician and every lawyer and everyone involved. And there's been zero response to that. What there has been a response to is there's been an active participation in preventing me from getting justice. Now, as you know, I was in Footscray, and the targeting was going even back then. And looking back in retrospect, the targeting's been going for 30 years. I can prove this because I've got it all documented with evidence linked to a verified source. Now, the police and Debbie, the girl who has fabricated the report, has no evidence. In fact, the total and utter lack of evidence means that the accusations are false and they wouldn't hold up in a court of law. But see, this is an interesting thing because whilst I'm on the surface and I'm public and I'm telling the people who are doing this to me, you're doing this to me and you're hurting me, and they're just not even responding. But there's been not a single person in this entire world, you included, any cop, any lawyer, Debbie Morgan, any child victims, you know, that's ridiculous, and any or anyone really, my parents, friends, no one has said, had the courage of their convictions, stood there in front of me, looked me in the eye and said, I think you did this, and then say it. But the thing is, there's a lot of subtext and there's a lot of inferring. And the subtext of the conversation is that I'm guilty of all these things. However, as you can see, there's no brave people, and there's no courageous people, and there's no one willing to put their money where their mouth is. Now, this is important because it reveals something about the corruption. And the corruption is systemic, it's endemic, and it's highly politicised. Now, I'm a whistleblower, as you know, and I was left unprotected under the PID Act. And for that, Bill Shorten has actively participated in breaching the country's constitution. Now, he would have been the Prime Minister, and he is the person I'm accusing of my assassination. Now, the evidence says there's no politician, no lawyer, no police officer who is denying that happened. And surely, if someone accuses you of something, you have the chance to say, no, it didn't happen, and prove it in a court of law. Now, I'm accusing the government, the Australian government, of attempting to assassinate me. And no one is rebuking that, no one is refusing it, and no one is denying it. At the same time, there's not a single person who will write a report on it, send it to an ombudsman, the National Anti-Corruption Commission, Mark Dreyfus, anyone. This is an egregious human rights violation, and I am its victim. Now, I'm currently on the road. The police have chased me out of town with institutional neglect and with institutional complicity in the corruption. And the Wagga police, Wagga Wagga, pulled me over, and they know where I am because there's a tracker on my car and there's a tracker on my phone. So they know where I am at all times. And I'm actually linked up to the satellite system, so they know where I am extensively all the time. And even Ben, the NGIS provider, will confirm I'm now followed by the Secret Service because mine is the most egregious human rights violation in the country's history. And it's based on libel and slander and lies of things never tested in a court. And that is, by itself and of itself, a breach of legal process in this country. And I can prove it. So, getting back to my thing before, Steph, gee, I miss my friends. I miss hanging out with them. You know, I've grown a lot spiritually, and I've come to a lot of realizations about corruption and the human condition, and I'm well within my remit to stick up for myself. And I'm asking you, Steph, can you stick up for me? Will you be able to give me a call? Because I can come to your house, I can meet you. As soon as I get justice, and it won't happen in Australia, it will have to happen at the International Criminal Court at The Hague, because I've exhausted all domestic solutions. So I'm hoping to take it to The Hague. Every politician knows about it, every police officer knows about it. And they've got a thing which is people call me crazy for, but I've verified with evidence that this is a thing that's happening to me, and it's called V2K, and it puts voices in your head. It's a military-grade technology, and it's used to silence dissidents and gay advocates and other people they want to silence from the national conversation. And I am being targeted as one of those people. So the voices are in my car, and they're on the radio, and they're in my head. And this isn't any symptom of mental illness, although they're actively participating in exploiting the vulnerability that is my mental illness. So in that way, they've been really cruel to me, and it's a breach of my human rights, and every cop, every lawyer, every politician, and the entirety of the media are on board. That is because there's a black budget campaign with which to silence me as a whistleblower and guarantee complicity that I'll never, ever get my justice. And that is why I can say with certainty that this conspiracy, which led to my suicide in 2021, and I died and then was revived, is active, it's alive, and it is deceitful, it's snide, it's covert, and it's trying to kill me. Steph, even if I was a pedophile, a rapist, an extortionist, and a terrorist, the Australian government's forbidden to treat me like this. I can prove in a court of law that these things are untrue. And I appeal to your sense of rage about the environment and these powerful, rich, corrupt people who profit from lies to then look at that in my perspective, my situation. The same greedy, corrupt people are benefiting from my silencing, and they benefit if I die. There's no investigation. It's written off as if I did it, it's my fault, it was mental illness or drugs, and they wash their hands of it. But the thing is, even if I died, I've still made my point. The truth is out there, and you can't get rid of truth. It's just a thing that's ever it's pervasive. It goes through everything. The truth, and I speak the truth. Steph, and I miss you. And I miss Susie, and Hugh. How's Hugh going? And I'd love to be able to talk to you. And I'll leave my number below. And if you can make the leap of faith to believe in me, I can promise you my friendship, and I can promise you my honesty, and I can promise you that if I ever get justice, you will never have to work again. And I also promise you that the money that is going to be made from this injustice together and towards a philosophy, and that protects all vulnerable people, children, women, the colour, the queer, the disabled. This has been